So you now need an immediate return on investment, ROI. You need an immediate ROI. But the great thing as a house hacker is that you don't need an immediate ROI. Your greatest ROI is the fact that you're saving 30 to 50% of your budget. You're living for free, right? You don't have that payment. So when we have a tree fall on a property, I just reached into my maintenance, my capital expenditure, and fixed it.
Welcome to the House Hacking Success Podcast, where you'll learn the path to free rent and financial freedom through real estate. Featuring your hosts, Brad Labrie and Drew Klingler.
Welcome to House Hacking Success. I'm your host, Bradley Labrie, and we have a great show in store for you today, which is going to be about the downsides of real estate investing. Unfortunately, this topic isn't talked enough about in the real estate community, and we want to discuss it a little bit and talk about some of the bad situations that happen to real estate investors and how you as a house hacker mitigate that risk so much better than a traditional investor. And we're going to talk through those stories of my own personal situation because I've had some bad things happen to me as an investor and a landlord, and I'm going to talk to you about that and how we can mitigate that risk. So first, before we get into the show today, if you guys have enjoyed our podcast, we would really appreciate if you would go down, rate and review it for us. It helps us grow organically our audience, reach more people, grow this community, and bring us all together for the cause of house hacking and financial independence. Because we genuinely believe in that, Drew and I do. And we want to help you as much as we can reach those goals. So if you can do that for us, just rate and review the podcast. It helps us organically reach more people and grow this community. All right, let's jump into it.
Hey everyone, real quick before we start the show, Brad wrote an amazing ebook that will teach you everything you need to know about house hacking and living rent-free. To get a free copy, text HouseHack, all one word, to 22828. That's HouseHack, all one word, to 22828. To get your free copy.
So before we start the show, I hope you are having a great 2020. I know I am personally as a real estate agent. I really thoroughly enjoy helping my clients, whether it's house hacking or getting a new home or dealing with traditional investors, right? I'm having a great 2020. I hope you are too. Here at House Hacking Success, we are determined to help you get into your first property this year. So let us know how we can help you. DM us, email us, whatever it is, just reach out to us so that we can help you get into your first house hack this year. We are thrilled. We're even contemplating starting a course this year so that we can help you get into a house hack, a step-by-step guide, getting into house hack. Let us know if you'd be interested. That'll give us some encouragement to get this thing done. But let's talk about the downsides of real estate through my personal experiences, some of the personal experiences of my close friends, right? So 2 Christmases ago, the sewer backed up at my place, right? On Christmas Day, on Christmas night, I get a text about this. So I had to call a 24-hour plumber, which was expensive because it's on a holiday, right? And I had toilets backed up. I had tubs backed up. I had kitchen sinks backed up, right? It was a bad situation. It could have got very bad, but we shut off the water. We called in a 24-hour plumber. We got it fixed, and it was just water under the bridge, right? Very recently, I had a neighbor's tree fall on my property. It put a couple holes in the roof. It destroyed the gutters. It hit my gas meters, which I had to call the energy company out to fix that because I had a gas leak, right? So we fixed that. I called out a roofer, got the siding replaced, right? Called out Consumers Energy to fix it, and we got it done, right? I've had tenants who weren't paying on time, and I had to track them down. I've had tenants that I allowed a dog on a property, right? And they weren't picking up after themselves. So I had to reprimand them for, leaving dog poop out in the yard, right? And other different small situations like that. I've had to evict a tenant, right? And Drew had termites in one of his trees that he didn't know about. He had to, I don't remember the exact cost, but it was like $2,000 to cut that down, right? A buddy of mine who I work with, who also listens to the show, Robert, right? When he bought his place, he had termites in it, right? And then Drew also just got done with a leaky sink. So the point is that you have these minor situations come up, right? Some are bigger than others, like the sewer and a tree falling on a house. Those are relatively bigger ordeals, right? But in the grand scheme of things, as long as I've been a landlord, they've been very minuscule. They're very few and far between, right? On my day job, I have problems come up every single day. Here as a landlord, I get a problem maybe once every other month or maybe once every third month, right? A small problem, a small issue, you just deal with it. And here is how you mitigate it as a house hacker way better than a traditional investor. So if you're a traditional investor, because I'm an agent, I work with a lot of these traditional investors, you have to put 20 to 25% down, right? And then you have to have what the bank requires is reserves for the property, which is generally 3 to 6 months of all the expenses in a bank account set aside for the property, right? The bank requires that a lot of times at closing. And it can vary bank to bank based on their guidelines. But we're just going to go with that for now, right? That's a lot of capital invested on a property, even if it's only a $100,000 property, right? That's $25,000 for the down payment and closing costs, maybe more, but we're just going to say $25,000. And if you have to have reserves, now you have to have 3 to 6 months reserves set aside. So you're well over $30,000 invested in this property just with those two things, right? So you now need an immediate return on investment, ROI. You need an immediate ROI. But the great thing as a house hacker is that you don't need an immediate ROI. Your greatest ROI is the fact that you're saving 30 to 50% of your budget, which is the traditional American's budget for housing. You're saving that. You're living for free, right? You don't have that payment. Now, because we ran our numbers, right, we're putting money aside every month for capital expenditures. We're putting money aside for property maintenance, on the property. And so now, because we're setting those in separate bank accounts, we save money every single month for these kind of events. So when we have a tree fall on a property, I just reached into my maintenance, my capital expenditure, and fixed it, right? And so that is how us as house hackers mitigate it way better, because we're living for free. We're saving all this extra money, right? And so when these problems happen, they're water under the bridge. We are making money as house hackers every single month through rent, right? And we deal with minor issues, but trust me, at least in my situation and all of the people that I know around me, these problems are so small compared to the problems we have with our bosses or at our jobs, right? And all of the crap we take every day to get our jobs done, right? They're very small and minuscule when you look at it in that context. So investing doesn't have to be risky. It doesn't have to be scary, right? If you find quality properties in good areas, you screen your tenants, you're going to have much, much less problems and issues than a traditional investor who goes into C areas because the ROI is greater, right? And maybe they even have property management, they still deal with a lot of issues. So I just wanted to walk through some of the downsides that I've had personally, that Drew has had, some of our other friends. There are many other people with stories of bad things that have happened to them in real estate. But because we're house hackers, we really do mitigate that risk a lot better because we're living for free, right? And so all of the extra money we have, we put into savings. Maybe we're also saving up to buy another place, but we put it into savings and we're able to have those reserves when bad things happen. And they really don't happen that often, right? We hear about the 2 a.m. toilet call, but I've never changed the toilet because when I did burrs on my property. So when I go through them, I renovate the big issues, right? Hot water heaters, I usually replace. The toilets I'll usually replace. Like on most of my units, I got brand new furnaces. So a lot of the big ticket things that a lot of people have issues with, I'll go through and I'll rehab them, fix them, get new ones. So I don't have those kind of issues, right? And so that's another strategy that you can maybe play, maybe not. But if you do replace those things, you're likely not going to have those kind of issues anytime soon, right? And even if you do, changing a toilet, find a handyman. If you don't want to change the toilet, fine. Just budget it into there. Maybe it costs $150 or $200, maybe more if you're in a hotter market. Maybe it costs $200, $300 to get a handyman out to replace the toilet. But that's water under the bridge because we're saving that every month, right? And that problem isn't going to happen that often, right? Maybe once a year, maybe, hopefully not. Maybe if you have a lot of units, maybe more than that. But it doesn't happen that often, right? And so just plan for it, put it in reserves, and mitigate your risk. All right, guys, we genuinely appreciate you tuning in today. If you have any questions, concerns, or how we can help you this year in 2020 get into your house hack, reach out to us, DM us, email us, and we will 100% get back to you and help you this year. And again, we're going to do a house hacking success course this year, which is a step-by-step guide to help you get into house hacking. So if that is something you're interested in, let us know. Let us know how we can help you better, what you're thinking about, And as we put this thing together, we're looking forward to helping you in 2020 get into house hack. All right, you guys have a great day.
Hey everyone, Real Brad wrote an amazing ebook that will teach you everything you need to know about house hacking and living rent free. To get a free copy, text house hack, all one word, to 22828. That's house hack, all one word, to 22828 to get your free copy.